there's a there's a lot of fun things to observe with FEU. First of all, not just the players, but with their coach. I heard today is the first day that Coach Sean Chambers is taking over.
Well, I think after several weeks of, I take that back, 1 week of observing and being at practice, getting to know the players and the coaches, I think it's his time now to put his imprint on the team, and this is the perfect way to do it in a game situation.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of putting an imprint on his team, I was looking at the previous game, the stats of the previous game of FEU. It was their big men who actually produced. They were the top two performers in Konate and VJ Pre. So that must be the imprint of Coach Sean Chambers.
Well, I think the job of any coach is to be able to figure out what the strengths are of your team and try to maximize that as much as possible. So obviously with FEU, they have a size advantage.
Exactly.
They have their foreign student athletes. Get their foreign students in an early seal and try to have them operate and try to create opportunities for scoring.
Yes, exactly. Good insights by Coach Russell. And here are the stats of the previous game of FEU as they fell short to Lyceum, for losing by 82 to 77. So you have Mohamed Konate with a double-double performance of 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 blocks, as well as VJ Pre with 27 points and 8 rebounds. And the story of the ball game was actually their outside shooting coach.
Yes, so I think in that game, LP was able to take advantage of their clear strength in shooting, and they were able to do that for longer parts of the game. FEU they struggled to establish the post for a longer period of time in the game. That was probably the difference in the victory and the loss.
Yes, I mean it was only a 5-point victory by Lyceum, and of course sometimes when your outside shots aren't falling, the teams, especially the teams with great coaches, tend to keep the paint packed, and it made it harder for the big men to actually score inside.
Yes. So just like you probably saw UConn a couple days ago, spacing is key. So if a team is struggling to score from the perimeter, it does tend to clog the paint a little bit. And so now the seals are harder to establish in the post, and then there's more hands digging at the ball if the ball does happen to get down there. It'll be important to see whether or not the bigs of FE are able to locate the defense early and then spit the ball out to waiting perimeter players so they can get good wide open threes. Once that happens, the defense will loosen up and then they'll have more options on offense.
Yes, definitely the teams on the defensive side will start guessing on how to guard FEU. And let's move on over to the groupings of PINOYLIGA. So for Group Prime, we have the De La Salle Green Archers, the NU Bulldogs, Ateneo Blue Eagles, Guangming College, LPU Pirates, the FEU Tamaraws, MCU College, and Enderun Titans, and Mapua Cardinals.
And so for the tournament format, we're in for a good 3 months of solid collegiate action, right? So there's 2 brackets with 9 teams each. The top 2 teams in each bracket will advance to the quarterfinals and will each have a twice-to-beat advantage. The teams that are positioned numbers 3 through 6 will play each other in a crossover tournament. Right. The great thing about this is when you get to the finals and the semifinals, it's knockout games, so it's win or go home. So we'll have to see at the end of these 3 months who rises to the top.
Yes, definitely. So that's a nice situation for this team, for this league. So every game is important, Coach. So let's move on over to the players that we have to watch out for. So we have TJ Abdullah. I think you handled him, Coach.
TJ was a student athlete here at Enderun last year, and TJ is a heck of a player, can handle the ball, very smart, reliable three-point shooter, and can get to the paint, can finish. So it'll be his ball probably for the game, and we'll have to see how he operates against this UAP squad.
All right, let's see how he fits in with Mapua. All right, and I think now we can send it over to Alvin Tañada as he announces the starting lineups of both teams. So that was Alvin Tanyada announcing the starting lineups for both teams. And this should be an exciting match, Coach.
Well, you know, you're looking at another opportunity for a UAP team to go up against an NCAA team.
Yes.
You know, contrasting styles, contrasting lineups, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, how they establish their style right away.
Yes, that's the beauty of PINOYLIGA. You get to see both sides and their styles and see which style actually works better.
Well, you know, you know what they say, styles make fights. So you can see in the previous possession here, FEU is trying to get the ball in the mid-post area to their big. Unfortunately, it was a turnover. So we already know that FEU is going to be trying to establish that area as theirs.
And hopefully today they can get their outside shooting going so they can get easier baskets for their big man, Mohamed Konate. Now we have Pasool bringing down the ball. Free throw line jumper is good for Pasool. Good start for him as he gets the first basket for FEU.
Well, the mid-range pull-up jumper is an underappreciated shot in basketball these days. That shot tends to be more appreciated. Catch and shoot three.
Soon to be the lost art of basketball.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I think just like in all things, basketball is a cyclical kind of sport. So something that wasn't in fashion before or currently will become fashion again.
Yeah, definitely. And again, scoring from the free throw line, this time a floater by Bautista.
They're trying to establish the paint as their area of operation. So Mapua will have to find a way to prevent the ball from getting inside the paint.
Yes, and I was asking Coach Bert Flores earlier of FEU. He said their designated shooter for this lineup is Bautista, and he struggled last game because I think he came from an injury. But looking good so far. Oh, and a sorry miss by number 15 there.
They had the advantage on the break. Got to make those.
Oh, and a strong drive by Cyrus Cuenco. Actually, fun fact about Cyrus, he was my teammate in Mindoro in the MPBL 2022 season.
Okay.
Yeah, so he does have some experience in the pro leagues.
Ooh, tough one, tough one. So they're using a mixture of ball screens and post entries into the elbow to try to take advantage of the middle of the floor. That is something that Mapua will have to try to stop at some point. The more times the ball ends up in the paint, the better it is for the offense.
Yes, and it's been working so far because all their 4 points came from the middle.
Yes.
And there it is, FEU realizing their advantages inside, feeding Konate the ball, but gets fouled.
You know, I think in situations like this, you always have to worry about foul trouble. As the opponent defending against a big like Konate, are you able to have enough bodies to throw at that type of caliber of player to make it hard for him the entire game?
Yes.
To find some rhythm. If Konate gets into rhythm, it's going to be tough for Mapua.
Yes, and at the same time, looking at the Mapua bench to our right, they seem short-handed today as well.
You know, that Manila traffic is it's a beast. It's a beast.
Yeah, I'm sure, Coach. And like I come from Makati, and it took me almost an hour just to get here.
Yes. I've only been here for 2 years, and I'm still getting used to it. FEU is really applying a lot of pressure on the ball, making it hard for the ball handler to see passes or to even see a driving lane.
They seem to be struggling to get their offensive sets going because of the early pressure on the guards.
Yeah, they're definitely making Mapua have to like burn clock in order to find an opening in the defense.
Oh, and Haboneta with a nice fake, but misses the gimme layup.
In the States, we call that smoking layups. You can't smoke layups out here, especially against a good team. You gotta convert those.
Yes. especially against a team like FEU, who's been very successful in the UAAP for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Oh, and a nice block by number 3. And Daa misses the 3-pointer there. And Habonete gets the rebound, gives it to number 4, and smokes another layup, Coach.
You know, it's interesting because I think he heard the footsteps of Konate. I mean, he had a clear lane, but just the presence of Konate in the post made him think twice about making that layup.
And here it is again.
Oh, those...
Right on cue, Coach Konate with 2 defensive stops. Oh, and number 44 is down and holding on to his knee. It does not look good, Coach.
Well, it's sort of tough. It looked like a non-contact injury. Those are always the scary ones.
Yes, let's hope he's okay.
Yeah. Tough to see a player go down like that. Let's hope he's okay.
And you can tell just by his reaction that the injury does not look good.
We'll have to see if he's able to put some pressure on it.
That's usually an indicator if the injury is serious or not. If the player can get up and put pressure on his leg.
You know, if you're thinking about how the game is unfolded so far, you're seeing the same trend that we saw over the weekend. You know, the establishment of the post play, interior offense, and as of right now, like stretching the defense with reliable perimeter shooting. They've been able to get their mid-range jumper, but we have yet to see them be accurate from the three-point line.
Yes, and just right there, Mapua gets another steal, and it's stolen right back by Pasaol. And getting another basket from the middle, Coach, as they take the lead 6-5 in the halfway mark of the first quarter.
It's always tough when you have a live ball turnover. It's hard to get transition defense set up, and then you have an advantage with more than likely you're going to score.
Yes, definitely the player has momentum to the basket, and it gets harder to stop as Mapua answers right back with a floater of their own, giving them the lead.
I think the Mapua defender tried to pull the chair on Konate, but I don't think he was successful.
And you were saying earlier, Coach, foul trouble. They have to watch out for foul trouble, and right away their big man, number 21, gets subbed out, and Reyno checks in.
Well, if you think about those old Laker teams in the early 2000s, one of the reasons why Shaq was such a game changer was because other teams had to adjust to him. So you really had to have three legitimate bigs that could expend 6 fouls each in order to guard Shaq. So I mean, that's really the advantage of having a big that is effective, because it forces the other team to have to adjust.
Yes, exactly. And I remember I used to watch the Lakers before, and some teams would have to build their lineups just for Shaq.
Yes.
Like getting 2 or 3 extra big bodies just to waste 6 fouls on Shaq.
And you look at the NBA now and the way that basketball is being played right now, a lot of teams are opting for mobile, long defenders so you can switch all over the place, right? So you don't, like in a situation like that with that pick and roll, you can switch that instead of having to fight over the screen. Yes. So it gives the defense a clear advantage. So all of these things really add up to whether or not a team has enough things that they do that the opposing team has a game plan for. If you do that, then you have a good chance of being successful.
Yes, we're slowly transitioning to what they call a positionless basketball.
Yes.
And we have players like you were talking about, agile big men, and the rookies this season, the top performers we have Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. Well, Chet Holmgren is considered a rookie because he didn't play the whole year last year.
Right. But think about all the options and opportunities guys like that present for their team on both ends of the floor, and then if you have to play them, if I have a big that's not as mobile, I got to go out and guard like Wemby in space. That's a challenge.
And FEU gets an easy basket, care of Daa. And what a great pass by Bautista, finding his teammate Daa for an easy 2.
You know, as a coach, we always tell our players, as soon as you get the ball, your first thing to do in transition is to look up. Don't put the ball on the floor. Look up and see if there's a pass you can make that leads to an easy basket.
That's exactly. Just keep it simple.
Yes.
And Coach J.R. Carlos calls a timeout as Mapua is leading by 1, leading 9-8 in the 3-minute mark. We'll be right back. This is Pinoy Liga Cup number 1. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. If you just tuned in right now, this is the 3rd division of the Pinoyliga Club Collegiate Division. And we have the MU Cardinals leading by 1 point, 9-8 against the FEU Tamaraws. So what do you think of the game so far, Coach?
Well, it's evenly matched. I think what you're looking at is, both teams trying to figure out how best to take advantage of what they can do on the floor. I feel bad for the Mapua coach. He called a timeout. Probably drew up a great play, and unfortunately his team wasn't able to execute. That's why it's so, every possession is important, especially if you get that timeout. You want to be able to execute and try to get the best shot possible.
Yes, exactly. We can hear him here from the sideline screaming at his player. The Jabonete was actually open, but he overcooked the pass, and it went to you.
My hands weren't ready to catch the ball.
We had the microphone in our hand, so
that's right.
We weren't ready to shoot.
I like the fact that FEU went to a high-low action right there. It allowed the ball to move, the defense to shift, and then Conate was able to seal on the inside. Great interior pass, and now he gets a free throw, or gets 2 free throws.
But he needs to make his free throws, Coach.
Yes. You want to reward yourself. You did all that work. You want to be able to reward yourself with points. But
checking the stats in their previous game, he actually had a good shooting percentage from the line. I think he was 8 out of 11, if I'm not mistaken.
That's solid. You get a big man that can do that. That's that presents a lot of problems for the opposing team.
Yep. So he was given another shot. Actually, there was a laying violation in the first free throw.
There you go. Converts both.
So Conate is 2 for 2 down the line. And now FEU is also applying full court pressure.
You think about it, the more styles you can play, depending on your personnel, the better your position to be able to be successul and counteract what the opposing team's doing. So Conate goes out of the game, and now you have a smaller lineup, but maybe now one that's more able to put pressure, more high pressure up the floor.
So we're looking at a higher tempo offense now for FEU.
So now the question will be, who's going to be more successful at this style of play? If it's going to be full court press, create turnovers, get in transition, who has the advantage?
Well, it's good that the coaches are doing it early here in the first half so that they can figure out the style that works best when they get to the latter part of the game.
Right.
And now we have Mapua inbounding the ball, number 23. Gives it to 41 Pantaleon. Gives it to Jabonete with a fake handoff and skying high for the layup and almost an end-one basket.
He's been pretty active this entire quarter. He's put the ball on the floor. He's rebounded.
And doing a good job not getting into foul trouble as well.
You sort of think about how the game unfolds, and you're trying to figure out, as an opposing coach, which guys are going to be the ones that are going to be activating the action. So for Mapua, obviously, it's number 70. He's the one that the ball's going to go through in order to make things happen.
And he does have a good feel for the game. I like his last possession. He had a nice read where he faked the handoff and went straight to the basket.
Yes.
And leading to that 2 free throws. Oh, that's a nice block by Pantaleon. So Coach Bert Flores was telling me about number 16, VJ Pre from FEU. He's one of their top recruits this season. And he had the chance to play against some professionals, some PBA players, and he said he was holding his own.
Well, he definitely has the prototypical size to be able to operate with higher level athletes. Now it becomes a matter of game experience, understanding situations on the floor, the context of how the game's flowing, and trying to think how best you can be successful. You look at this past position here. FEU is trying to test their three-point shooting ability, and both times both shots were contested. So it becomes a matter of, for them, how can they get open threes, uncontested threes.
And FEU playing good defense there as they force the turnover. And this is also another recruit for FEU, number 2, Godinez. He's actually a Phil-American guard. He's from Cebu here, but he came from Maryland.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a lot of good basketball being played in Maryland.
I remember I used to watch a player from Maryland before, Juan Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
He was a scorer.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Oh, what a nice spin move by number 22. Gives it back to Pre.
Those contested shots are tough.
Oh, Godinez with an in-and-out dribble gives it to VJ Pre and makes a three-pointer.
Maybe he's the guy that's going to loosen up the defense. He got that shot in rhythm, looked very confident.
But unfortunately, he was stepping on the line and it was just a 2-pointer for VJ Pre.
It's a thought that counts.
The referee's called a jump ball. And possession arrow goes to Mapua.
You gotta love the fact that both teams are competing. Their urgency for each possession is apparent. It doesn't look like there's any type of apprehension about whether or not each team can play at each other's level. They're really going at it.
Yep, and we're getting treated to great basketball today.
Yeah. Nice box out by number 20.
And the ball is going to stay with Mapua, and it looks like they're going to be able to get the last shot of the quarter.
Got to secure that ball with 2 hands. Every possession is important.
And that was a good screen to get Cuenco open in the sideline, but he just missed the layup, the three-pointer.
Yes.
Oh, and this time hitting the roller in Habonete. As Godinez takes a floater from the middle, no good. And at the end of the first quarter, Coach, we are tied at 15. Great basketball so far.
Yes. Probably couldn't have scripted it better than that.
Yeah, just exchanging leads and keeping it close. And looking forward to what's coming in the second quarter. So we'll be right back after this break. This is Pinoy Liga Cup number 1. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second quarter of the third season of the PINOYLIGA Cup Collegiate Division. And we have FEU versus Mapua. And FEU taking the lead at the start of the quarter with a three-pointer. And it's been good basketball so far. As and he seems to fit the mold of a modern-day big man.
I think so.
Oh, and another three by Habonete, but misses it this time. And VJ Pre running down the floor and making a tough shot, spinning and getting the layup as they give them a 4-point lead.
It's a heck of a move. Heck of a move in the paint.
And he's been impressive so far.
Yes.
And coach, your guys just checked in the ball game, TJ.
You gotta love the fact that Mapua got back on defense. Call that floor balance, where they have to play. It's a 5-on-5 game as opposed to an advantage. But even with that, FEU scores easily on the baseline drive.
Yep, so all getting a reverse layup and pushing the lead up to 6. Biggest lead of the ball game so far. Oh, and Cyrus Cuenco with a crazy basket, getting an end one, going to the line.
The one thing you notice about that play is the fact that Cuenco went up under control, went up off of 2 feet, extended his body, extended his arm, knew he was going to get fouled, but focused in to finish the play.
Yeah,
and then you get a 3-point, you get the and one, perfect.
Yeah, good way to stop the mini run of FEU. And of course, when you go up with 2 feet, when you jump with 2 feet, you're definitely more balanced when you go for a layup.
Yes.
And TJ shooting over Konate.
That's what TJ can do.
Yeah.
He's special that way.
It's a familiar sight for you, coach?
Yes.
There it is, FEU feeding their big man. Gives it to Pasool. Pasool kicking it out to VJ Pre. Misses it this time. And the foul is called on number 24.
In that situation, especially if you're playing against a bigger guy in your matchup, you have to find ways to get an advantage, get leverage, and trying to battle up high for a rebound with a taller guy is always tough. You want to try to get contact, box out, and track the ball afterward.
And FEU seems to be doing a good job as both centers of Mapua have 2 fouls. And it seems to be their strategy to get the big men in foul trouble. As Bautista finally making a 3. And FEU definitely shooting better this game.
Yes, they are. And the thing that you notice about their shots, especially the most recent 3-pointers, that they're shooting in rhythm. The offensive player, number 3, his feet are set, and all he has to do is think about shooting. He doesn't have to worry about making another move. He knows that shot's going up.
give credit to their big men screening the shooters and getting them open. Oh, and no basket for VJ Pre. Good hard drive, but the foul was called on the floor.
It's already 5 minutes into the second, and Mapua already has 3 team fouls. You're just hoping that they don't get into a situation where they're in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter.
And Pre misses from the 3-point arc this time. As they get Habonete open for 3. No good. Oh, a nice move. And is it another foul?
Oh, they're racking him up.
Okay.
But if you notice what's happening, it's a matter of tough shots being shot on Mapua's end, and then they're coming in transition offensively. FEU is, and so like it's easier to draw fouls if there's, if you're playing against a man advantage. Mapua will have to find ways to get better shots, so that way they can have a better opportunity to get back 5-on-5. So FEU's not playing against, a man advantage.
It's also the transition, the early transition attacks are from the missed shots of Mapua as well. So they have to find out a way to make baskets so they can set their defense and stop giving them fast break advantages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not like Mapua is taking bad shots.
Have days like that, coach. Even though you're open, you
It
still
doesn't
miss
go
open
in.
shots.
That's
yeah.
right. Again in rhythm.
And Bautista with the second 3 of the quarter, proving to us that it was just a fluke last game.
He was locked in on that shot. He knew he was getting that thing up as soon as he got the ball.
Cuenco getting the handoff, using the Hablir out. Gives it to their main man, challenging Konate, and throws up a prayer and makes it.
I think the basketball gods were rewarding number 70. That was a hail prayer and it went in.
Net is feeling it today.
I think that was a heat check shot by Bautista.
Bautista with the ball, back to VJ Pre. Back to Bautista. Gives it to Da. Back to Pre, gives it to Konate in the middle. Oh, and a nice defensive stop by Mapua.
That's the beauty of putting pressure on the passer. Have a reactive defender, they can come in from behind and get that steal or get a deflection. So that's smart basketball by Mapua defensively on that end.
The fronting him was a distraction, and actually you got to help defender from the back stealing the ball from Konate.
If the passer was on his back heels, right, so he had to lob the ball. It makes Konate have to dislodge a little bit, maybe, from his seal. That guy come and get the steal.
Credit to the guy who stole it. He was athletic enough to actually grab it from Konate.
And the thing is, because it was lofted, he saw that pass going in, able to get his hands on it.
Of course, lob passes are slower passes, giving the defenders time to react. Oh, and a nice offensive board by number 5, Gunu. And TJ rejecting the screen, but turns the ball over. Oh, and Habonete running back on deep possession, back to Mapua.
This goes if you give up on a play. You might think you're out of position, throw your hands up, get it, cause a turnover. Gotta love it.
Habonete is doing everything, and I think he hasn't been subbed out the whole game.
I think he was once earlier, but he's played majority minutes of this first half.
Oh, and Godinez called for the landing spot. That's gonna get